Well, here they are. He just told me to come back here and load up as many as I needed. So I'm gonna get 50 of them at $2 a piece. That's half the price, if not more than half the price, that I can get them at big box stores here in town. So, score. All loaded up, ready to go. I've got my T-posts laid out here. I've got 10 of them laid out, and I've got an old can of Rust-Oleum. The reason I'm gonna paint these, I'm not gonna paint the whole pole to look nice and shiny. The reason I've got this out here is I'm gonna lay a board down and paint a line across the bottom of these poles. And that's gonna give me an easy way to gauge how deep these poles are. So I've got a 4-foot tall fence. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure down 4 foot from the tops of these poles and put a line. That way when I'm driving them, I know that every one of them is at 4 foot. The very first fence I put in, I wasn't really diligent at doing that. I was using like a pencil, and some of them I used a paint pen, and I couldn't really see it very well. So some of them were a little too tall, some of them were a little too short, and it just kind of looked kind of wonky. So this time around, I'm gonna put a board, like I said, put a board across here, and then paint across it so I get a nice crisp line. And I know as soon as that line hits the ground, I'm at 4 foot and to stop driving. Hey, I wanted to show you guys a little secret that I use when putting up this fence post. The very first fence post I put up, or the very first fence I put up rather, went really smoothly. I just used T-posts, some garden fence, and this little deal here called wedge-loc. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. I just kind of happened to accidentally find them while perusing the internet. Tractor Supply has some of this. There's other pieces that you have to get online. I found that you can get on kincove.com. They have a lot of fencing supplies, and they've got the entire wedge-loc inventory. You can get kits to hang gates on these T-posts. You can even find little brackets to put on here to hold 2x4s and plywood and things like that if you were building a shed or some sort of shelter for an animal. Anyway, I don't dig holes and I don't pour lots of concrete, and it helps me put this fence up so much quicker and so much easier. Basically, all you're doing is you're setting your post like you would normally do it, driving it in the ground with a post driver, and you slip these collars. See if I can find one for you. You slip these collars over the T-post, and then you twist them, and they lock in place over the little nubs on the back side of the T-post. And then you stick this in behind it, and it locks it in place. This is called the wedge. That's why they call it wedge-loc, because it locks it in place. They've got corner kits that come with all the pieces to make a really strong corner. And you can take the corner, and instead of putting it on a corner, you can make it straight to make an inline brace to make your fence stronger. So I found this is so much easier. Guys, I don't have a lot of time or money to put into replacing wooden fence posts and putting concrete in the ground, and that's a lot of labor. So for my purposes, this is just a garden fence. I'm not trying to keep in livestock other than my kids, and I'm not trying to, actually I'm trying to keep out the livestock in that case. I'm not trying to keep in goats or anything like that. All I'm trying to do is keep the armadillos out, and the armadillos aren't really doing a whole lot of damage other than digging up the ground. They're not going to push over a fence. All I'm worried about is kind of keeping a nice area to put my garden in, and then I put fence up, and as an added bonus, I can plant plants along the edge of the fence line that need trellising. So I don't have to put up extra trellis. I don't have to put up a bunch of wire and a bunch of cables and posts and things like that. All I have to do is just plant them along the fence line, and my grapes, my berries, any other kind of perennial fruit or berry that I'm growing, it grows right on the fence line, and I didn't have to do extra work. And so I just wanted to share this, guys, with you. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you've got to check this stuff out. I didn't get this stuff free. They didn't send it to me. I'm not one of their sponsors, or they're not sponsoring me. I just believe in the product. So y'all need to go out and, if you're putting up a fence anytime soon, a garden fence or even one of those, the livestock fence, this will work on the T-post, okay? So check it out. You can go to Tractor Supply or Ken Cove. I'll put the link in the description so you can check them out. All right, here's a top view. I'm gonna try to, okay. So you can see you put it on here at an angle. You can tell it's longer this way than it is this way. So you wanna line it up with this little deer here. So you can go down 2 nubs. I'm gonna just to make it easier for you to see. And then you twist it, okay? And then you push it so it's in between these little knobbies. You have the wedge here. The wedge has a bump on one end and not on the other. The bump end goes up, slide it in just like that, and push it right on down. Sometimes, depending on the post and the amount of paint and things on the post, you have to kind of wedge it. And you'll just push it down until the little knobbies hit the collar. These little deer have these little fingers on it, and the fingers go right inside these little openings here. So you can see them just slip right in, just like that. Now that's actually 60 degrees up, so I would put this on the bottom of one pole, and then this is 60 degrees going down on this pole. So you can slip it up, and then the fingers that are pointed up, I can bend with a screwdriver. I'll try to show you that a little closer here on another angle. So here's the collar. I'm gonna slip it over, and then I'll hold it. You can see it's in between this nub and that nub. Here's the wedge, and here's the knobby on the top of this one. Slip it. Oh, now it's gonna be smart, I'll let. There we go. Okay, and you see how the little knobby's sitting right on top of the collar? So you have these little pieces here with the little slats behind them. And again, I'm just gonna go right behind it. And as the fingers stick up, I can take a screwdriver and bend them like that so that this doesn't want to fall out. Now there's some pressure, but over time that's going to wear out. So I'll stick a screwdriver in there and bend them out. Well, I spent the better part of the day just putting up the T-post and setting up the braces. You can see here, I've got the 90-degree brace. That's where my gate's gonna be hung. I'll probably hang it off, yeah, I'll definitely hang it off of this T-post here. I've got to buy my gate, so I wasn't able to finish this side. You can see I've got the post set there. So I've got these going. You can see I got the corner braces in there. Generally when we're doing this, we'll get all the corners in first and then run line. You can see I still have that line up there. And I don't try to get it perfect, but I get it close enough. You can see my idea to paint the poles and so I can have them 4 foot above the ground. Works out okay, but it's not perfect. I still have some upsies and downsies, but it gets us close. And like I said, I'm not trying to put a fence up on a golf course, but there's another brace. They tend to do pretty good. I don't have any stainless wire to wire these together, but this is the old fence, this is the newer fence, and I put the bracing on, and then I put this clamp around here and clamped it real tight. Man, that ain't going anywhere. So I did 2 corners and 1, 2, 3 half corner braces, so the equivalent of about 3.5 corners all in an evening. That probably took me only about 3 or 4 hours, and that's with lunch break and playing with the cats. But you can see I slipped that collar on, put the wedge in, slip this in. There's these little fingers in there, and they just go straight up. But I was able to get the screwdriver in there and bend them back so they kind of hold on a bit better to the little ear inside there. I would recommend these to anybody, especially if you're a one-man show and you don't have a lot of help to get fencing up. I can do all this by myself, and it's not really that strenuous. So just wanted to do a real quick video just to kind of show you my progress so far, and to show you how much can be accomplished in just a short amount of time with this bracing system. So this one I added just a little bit of extra bracing across here because this is where a gate's going. I may hang probably a 3 or a 4 foot gate. I'm not really sure.